It shouldn't be personal. It should just be, you know, criticism is criticism, good or bad. Take it for what it is, and then move on.
I'm getting word that we might have just now hit the air, so we may have to repeat some of this. Well, I tell you what, if you get stung once, you get stung twice. Uh, I think you've got somebody over there watching. Is she intercepting the signal now? Is she getting the view?
Mm, yeah, it's live now.
Yeah, there we go. So anyway, that's what we've been. If anybody's here, let's see, we're 14 minutes into the broadcast, and just now we've been over the fact that we're asking Frank what does he most want Laguna Vista residents to understand before we get into the details. You can comment on that, Frank.
Yeah, just with any ordinance or issue that you have with the city, just ask for that ordinance, because if you go on the website, you really can't. They're hard to find. They're hard to search for. So it'd be great if you're going to be cited for something, or if there's a warning, they can give you a copy of that ordinance, so you know where it's coming from, why it's there, and if you're actually in violation or not. Um, what we talked about before is, again, revising a lot of these city ordinances that may be outdated, maybe need clarification, or the way they were written kind of leaves room for interpretation, and that's not what you want. So again, just be black and white. It is what it is, and the public can understand it. So that way, you're not, the public has a little bit more trust in what it is that the ordinance, the way the ordinance reads, and what it's actually there for.
Right.
That way, again, back to communication. Just
Sure.
letting them know this is the city ordinance. It's been revised. This is the way it reads now. So for clarification, and now for in the future, if you have issues, whether you're right or you're wrong.
So for everybody just now tuning in, we're sorry about the technical problems. Looks like they're getting resolved. But for somebody that's just tuning in, we're trying to ask, what do we think what is fair for residents to ask? And where do you think the conversation has gone off track? Maybe a whole general comment about the quick way things kind of break out into, a fire, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to ask any question when you're unsure of, what you're being warned about, or if there's a citation being issued. If there's no ordinance, or, some type of paperwork telling you, like, hey, this is not just the number of the ordinance, but this is the actual ordinance. You can read it. And again, back to being black and white, there's no gray area. You're either right or you're wrong. So if there's clarification when you're getting warned, or the citation is being issued, it's right there. You know why. And again, we need to go back to revising a lot of these ordinances, and then rewriting them to where it's clear what is being asked of our residents, whether it's maintaining property or whatever. There should be something written down. And I'm not talking about like HOA, that's I don't want to take it to that level, and we shouldn't, but just simple ordinances where it kind of just keeps the public in check, so to say. Like, you're taking care of your yard. I get it. It's the summer. It's a little bit harder. Let's use some common sense. Give a little bit of leeway to some of these elderly residents that have a hard time, being out in the sun or whatever, trying to fix their yard so they don't get cited. That's, again, back to communication. Just let them know, like, hey, it's an issue. If you need help, let us know, and we can maybe find some volunteers to try and help you out.
Okay. Do you want to get into what you actually filed and who you filed it with, and what are you asking the town to review?
Yeah, so I had a resident reach out, a neighbor to one of the.
You want to bring that page up? Or?
We can, yeah, sure. I had a neighbor reach out to me about a business being run out of a home, and then uh, a boat on a trailer to the side of a driveway where a lot of residents have actually uh, reached out and said like, "Hey, well, why am I getting cited for this? If I drive around, I'm seeing this, that, and the other." And again, there's fear of retaliation against some of the residents, and this is not a new thing. But I told them, you know what, just give me the information, and I'll write the complaint. And I think if you read the complaint, it's pretty fair. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or whatever. It's just clear. Like, the residents are looking for fairness across the board, regardless of who you're related to or whatever. If it's code enforcement or ordinance violation, if there's more than one resident doing it, then again, it should be across the board, the same consequences. But when you have bias, and depending on who lives where, and they're not being cited, they're not being warned, now the residents are kind of asking themselves what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm asking this, let's review, and we've talked about it at this last meeting about, having to go through all these city ordinances, revising them if we need to, but definitely rewriting some of them to where it's clear, it's concise, people understand, and there's no gray area. This is what it is, and I think that's what we need to do and then again, list them on the website so that people can find them on the website. If there's an issue, they can always look it up. Sometimes you just get the number of the city ordinance, but you go on the website and try and look for it, and well, good luck. It might not even be on the website. I'm not sure. So it should be a lot easier of a process.
Yeah. So what does fair and consistent code enforcement look like to you in real life? Can you give residents a practical example?
So whether they do it on a daily basis or whenever it is they go around the neighborhoods and, look for violations, or they find the violation, if they're going to find the violation, they need to go around and make sure that nobody else has that same violation. Otherwise, you're going to have this same issue. It's like, well, why did I get cited? This guy just lives on the next block over and he didn't get cited, So again, back to communication and making sure the residents have that confidence in the enforcement that, okay, well, if I'm doing something wrong, maybe I'm not the only one, and there's other people doing the same thing. Like, I know bulk pickup is putting out your bulk trash for that third Wednesday of the month. That's an issue. Some people put it out at the beginning of the month, or they missed it and it stays out, and here they are, being warned to pull it back from the easement into their yard, and then put it out, the next day or a week later, whenever this thing comes to pick them up. So again, back to common sense. Like I said, our median age here in Laguna Vista is around 56. So you think about how hot it is right now, our residents, the elderly, can they really withstand the heat for that amount of time to be doing this stuff in the middle of the day or in the evening? The mosquitoes is another issue. So I'm just, again, back to common sense, applying a little bit of common sense to the enforcement. And if we do have residents that are elderly that may need help, again, reach out to the neighbors, reach out to the community. I mean, we had a marquee sign there in front of City Hall. The City Hall has their Facebook page and stuff like that. It'd be easy to reach out via social media, asking for residents to volunteer and help out some of our neighbors that are elderly and might need a little help here and there.
What town issues are bigger than this one and deserve more public attention?
Bigger than this one, I would say our infrastructure. And I know this last meeting we talked about the drainage. That project is going to start. I believe July 7th is a groundbreaking, which is going to be back here on Palm at the walking trail. And the city is asking for heavy equipment operators, It's going to be a full-time but temporary job to get this project completed. So from my understanding is we have the heavy equipment. We just don't have the operators to start working on the drainage. But that'd be great if we actually started it. We'll see. I mean, the groundbreaking for the park was what, February 10th, 11th, and not a lot's happened there. So it's been what, over 4 months. And I get it. Government contracts are slow, but at the same time, if you're gonna have a groundbreaking, that means the ball is moving. The things are moving. The projects are starting. So where the hiccup is, I'm not sure. But the drainage one, and then this beautification project that was, in my opinion, it was kind of brought to the council backwards. It was two members of the council that brought it forward. It's a $100,000 project, but there was no bids. There's no estimates, and that's $100,000 taxpayer money. There's no grant. The city manager can say that, well, they're going to try and get grants, but in that same breath, he also mentioned it's hard for cities like Laguna Vista that have, a high income ratio to get grants for certain things like beautification. So again, that's another. The Parks and Rec Board didn't even know about this. I was at that meeting this past Thursday. I was unable to speak for my 3 minutes because we had a quorum of the city council. So we were advised by the city manager that, nobody from the council would be able to speak. But if I had been allowed to speak, I would have, again, gone back to my thoughts of using our community, our residents, to volunteer to try and beautify our area. If that's something we want to do, is beautify Laguna Vista, why not try starting a gardening club or something to that effect? Get the community out. And there are a lot of residents that enjoy gardening, have their own gardens. I live across the street from a master gardener, so we have a lot of experience in our community to deal with stuff like this, and it'd be great to put it out to the community and see what kind of feedback we get. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think the residents.
Hey, we've got our first question from the audience.
Okay.
What does full-time versus temporarily mean? I understand what she says. I think what you're trying to say is it's a full-time job, probably 8+ hours a day, 40+ hours a week, but the job itself is not a permanent job. The hours are permanent. The hours are full-time. And I think that's the key, full-time. But
and it would be for the duration of the project, which means it's temporary. So once they're done with that project, if there was another project to move them onto, then I think the city would look into that. But for the most part, it's just for this drainage project that they need the heavy equipment operators for full time until the job is complete, and then, like I said, and that's makes it temporary.
Okay. Anybody else out there over in chat? We got that one done. What does success look like, Frank, 6 months from now? 6 months, not for you personally, but for Laguna Vista.
A lot of the projects that have started, maybe getting close to finishing them. I mean, 6 months is a long time, and for some of the projects that they said that are going to be starting, I really don't see more than 6 months. Those projects taking more than 6 months. Maybe the drainage, because they are going to have to replace culverts, certain driveways, and they're going to speak to the residents where that has to be done. But the other ones, like expanding City Hall, expanding the fire station, finishing up at the park, which I think that one's the soccer field is going to start after the 4th of July festivities as well. So I think here in 6 months, close to the end of the year, if everything goes as planned and we get the people that we need and the positions that we need, we should see some good progress by the end of the year. And to me, that would be a success. We're moving the town forward. there's a lot of projects, and I also want to see the transparency along with that. This is what your taxpayer money has funded, along with some grant money, but you should be able to see that on the website at the end of the year as well. I know they're working on making all this transparent, so let's just see how transparent it gets and how much progress we make on the projects. I think at the end of the year, that would, it'd be up to the residents to say whether it was success or not.
Okay, good. Let me get back over here, looking over some of the questions. See anything there? Does anybody want to? Do we want to do this? The live call in from the phone line. I think we'll save that for next time. That'd probably be a good idea. Frank, what does success? Well, look, I've read that to you. There we go. That's what I was trying to read there. How can residents? What's the best way for a resident to bring concerns forward to the city in a way that is documented, useful, and respectful? What can they do?
I mean, they could email any one of the city council members. I believe
how many council members are there?
So there's six council members, yeah, and then and the mayor. So I would say, and their email should be listed on the website. So you just email them, and depending on what the issue is, we might be able to talk to another council member, make it part of the agenda, and then we speak about it, depending on what the issue is. But that would be the best way to ensure your voice is heard. And then again, follow up with the council members, depending on what the issue was. If it was, say, a meeting passed and you didn't hear your issue voiced, follow up. That way, if it means that much to you and you spoke your 3 minutes at a meeting as well to bring it up, I think it, like Miss Selena McCauley, she's been going to quite a few meetings since I started going, and she's always brought up the financials, being transparent about the budget and all that stuff. And we've voted on that, 2 or 3 meetings ago. So all that stuff should be being posted on the website, the city website, for people to review. And then if they have questions or something seems inaccurate, again, bring it up.
What's your closing message to the residents here in Laguna Vista?
I grew up here, and I mean, this was, back in the 90s. There wasn't as many people. The golf course wasn't here, but Laguna Vista's always had that small town feel, where neighbors, everybody knew each other. I'd like to get back to that, have more community type events where, we meet our neighbors, that type of thing. And then there's something a neighbor needs, we can just voice it on social media, and, there'd be 5-10 people willing to help. Just bringing the community together. I don't think we need to be divisive about any of the stuff that's going on. It's honestly not that big of a deal. But definitely helping each other out. That's what community is all about, just being there for each other and make our community the best that we can. Just get along, and if there's issue with your neighbors, talk it out. There's nothing wrong with communicating.
50-50-50, right?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of some employee that I had one time, and he explained the 50-50-50 rule. We've got a good amount of reaction here. Thank you for these videos, SPI News, and Frank, thanks for taking questions. That was at 7:30, 7:29. And before I let you go, that's something I'll say. I want everybody to know that the SPI News channel is open for the business purpose of providing an outlet for decent communication, as you say, and for education of the issues going forward, and basically for everybody to have a say-so and input into what's going on in the community. We've got a community of wonderful people. I've got great neighbors. I've met a lot of folks here in Laguna Vista, and I think we all want the community that we all want, if that makes sense. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to bring your kids up. And we've got a chance to make it better now. We've got a new start, and we have the input of very, very interested, concerned citizens, people who care and they want to make a difference. So there you go, Councilman, Alderman Galvan. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you sticking with SPI News these last 2 weeks and the timeouts that we've had. I appreciate that very much. We're making strides. We're going to do a good job. Anybody else? Let's see, look over the questions. Let's see. Nope, I don't see anything else. So with that, we'll say thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll try to do these at least once a week, if not sooner, if not more frequently. And we need your input. You can go to newsspi.com or even to the SPI News Facebook site and tell us what you want to see. Tell us, give us some ideas that you'd like to see us. We're not going to do the attack dog routine. That's not what this channel is all about. But we do want to explore what is meaningful for citizens, what's going on. Just give us the idea. We'll report it. We'll track it down. But we're going to do so professionally and with everybody in mind, especially the families and the citizens and the people of Laguna Vista, as well as Port Isabel and South Padre Island, where we cover the three sisters as we know them: South Padre Island, Port Isabel, and Laguna Vista. That's who we're here for.
Yes, sir.
So, anything else, Frank, before we'll let you go?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you for doing this, getting the information out. Hopefully we get some more city personnel to come on here, and you can interview them and ask their questions. And again, we have resident participation so that they get their issues heard, and hopefully they get some answers to some of those issues, concerns. I appreciate some of them or all of them logging on and just, giving us a few minutes of their time to see what we had to say. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. I'll add that there's a whole subject, a whole landscape full of material that I want to cover as soon as I can. Yesterday afternoon, I was over at the old Navy, the U.S. Navy radio communication station that handled communications in the Navy for the entire South American continent, Panama Canal, when we were down there doing that, and all the ships at sea. And there were two 330-foot radio towers, two of them, over along Madison and let's see, 3 or 4 of the streets along over there in Port Isabel. Quite interesting where it was, and there's pictures of it that were taken from the lighthouse, the train station, and things like that. It's very interesting. So I want to do some of that as well.
Yeah.
Thanks very much again. Let's see. Keep it going, Frank. Haters always gonna hate when they don't. Well, we're gonna have that, and there's a lot of energy in both ways. But we're going to heal it, all of us together. We're going to make it work out. I know that for a fact.
Yep.
Anybody else? I don't have anything anymore. It's good to get the first one behind us, though.
Yeah.
It took a lot to get the old rag out of the barn, didn't it?
Well, I will say, if give me a minute here. Yesterday we had our first veterans meeting at the firehouse.
Awesome.
that was hosted by Chief Neil Waters. I wasn't able to attend. My daughter had her tonsils taken out yesterday, but
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to that. But it's great. They had their first meeting, so hopefully we have many more. It's great to have our veteran, residents get together, talk, see how we can help our community. Hopefully I can make the next one. And then I see Miss Lauren McGee is one of the people here listening. And again, shout out to her and her quilt club. I, I don't remember the name of the quilt thing right now, but if you have a veteran or you're related to a veteran that's here in Laguna Vista, Port Isabel, in the area, that would like a quilt, they make some beautiful quilts. I love mine. I just had mine presented a couple weeks ago at the library. So if you would like your veteran to have one, please let me know, and I can get with Miss Laurie McGee, and we can get the ball rolling on that and see what we can present those next set of quilts for our veterans. These ladies do a beautiful job, and it's great that it's all volunteer, and it's all, it's free. Where they get the stuff, I'm not sure, but it's great. And like I said, I love mine. It's beautiful. And there's 4 other veterans that were presented when I got mine. And again, it's great to recognize our veterans, and just give them back a little bit for their service and sacrifice. So again, Mrs. McGee, I appreciate it. It was great. And if you guys have veterans' names that you'd like to have a quilt presented to, please let me know. Reach out. Thank you.
Awesome. And I guess as we sail off into the sunset, Saturday is July 4th, and we need to be safe. It wasn't long ago when I was stationed at the station on South Padre Island. One of the members had a terrible accident trying to save I guess you call them a bomb, a bursting bomb going off in the air. It was windy that night, and the thing blew over, and it was headed for a bunch of kids, and he caught it in his hand. It destroyed his hand. A brave young man. We have to be careful with fireworks. We really have to be careful. And we have to consider others.
Yeah.
So, wonderful celebration coming up. Was there Thursday night? Isn't that a kick?
Laguna Vista will have theirs Thursday night, July 2nd. Yep.
Yeah.
At Roloff Park.
Roloff Park. That's a great, fantastic operation. What are the others that I'm leaving out? They got
Port Isabel is having theirs Friday the 3rd,
okay.
I think, and then that's my understanding. And then Saturday will be the island, and
okay,
they're trying to, I guess, make that might be the extravaganza, or the big finale will be the island and their firework display.
The Big Brother show.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. I don't see any other comments. We'll go ahead and shut her down. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And we'll be back soon. Appreciate it very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rick.